Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 4 of our return to Forgotten Favorites here in May in 2024. We've got 31 days in the month. We're picking out some of those great, underrated, undiscovered, forgotten, obscure albums from the vaults that nobody ever talks about, but we really like them a lot. Albums that just got forgotten and barely noticed, because lots of times you have some great records that weren't massive sellers, right? There's some people who seem to think that, it's only a good album if everybody bought it. No, that's not always the case, right? And it's certainly not the case with this particular one. So this album was released in October of 1970. Somewhat of an offshoot band from a pretty notable band from the 60s. That band is Brian Davison's Every Which Way. Of course, Brian Davison, the drummer from The Nice, right? That interesting blend of classical and rock music that was also the kind of breeding ground for a guy named Keith Emerson. Perhaps you've heard of him. When The Nice imploded, he went off and formed Emerson, Lake and Palmer with two other guys from other bands, right? And Brian just kind of went his own way and said, you know what, I'm going to put together my own band here. And that he did. And this is the result of that. Brian Davison's Every Which Way. That's just the name of the band, name of the album. And we've got, along with him on drums and percussion, you've got Graham Bell on electric piano, acoustic guitar, and lead vocals. You've got Jeffrey Peach on sax, flute, backing vocals, Alan Cartwright, bass guitar, and John Headley on lead guitar. What's really interesting about this album, this is the Esoteric reissue, which came out back in 2020. Very cool sound here. Nice booklet, tells you the whole history of the band and gives you like a little bit of the prehistory with the Nice and all that sort of thing. Very much kind of jazz rock meets pop type of thing going on here. Not all that different from what Traffic were doing right around the same time. So think kind of like John Barleycorn Must Die, Low Spark of High Heel Boys, that era Traffic, where Traffic starts to bring in these kind of darker, jazzier sounds into their blend of psychedelia and rock, right? Very similar type thing here. As a matter of fact, Graham Bell's vocals sound a lot like Steve Winwood. Really, the only thing you get a little different here is that whereas Winwood and Traffic had a lot of organ in their music, you don't really get that with Brian Davison's Every Which Way, but instead you get electric piano, probably a good amount more guitar, I think, in this band as opposed to Traffic. And lots of really nice sax and flute playing from Jeffrey Peach. But the vibe of the music is very, very similar. So you got Red Ain't What It Used to Be, which is the kickoff track, which is like 10, 11 minutes long, something like that. Big, epic, kind of Low Spark of High Heel Boys-ish again, minus the organ, but really cool sax solos and guitars and things. Very, very cool. Castle Sands, another pretty good piece. Go Placidly, a little more folky elements going on there, but then the last three are bangers. All in Time, What You Like, and The Light. All are really cool, just kind of atmospheric, jazzy rock songs, but with some, really cool flute solos, sax solos, and blistering guitar at times. And I like the addition of the electric piano, the Fender Rhodes, and his vocal style, Graham's vocal style. Just add this kind of airiness to the whole thing. Very, very good stuff. Again, jazz rock, maybe it's a little proggy, right? Traffic is a little proggy, sort of, but not like Yes or Genesis proggy, right? But just more of kind of going out there, adventurous arrangements and things like that, and lots of soloing and interesting time signatures from time to time. But yeah, really good stuff. Most people, up until a couple of years ago, I'd never heard of this before. Ken Golden turned me on to this, and I really dig this a lot because I love Traffic, and I think this is and Traffic's such a unique band. So anytime you come across another band from that time period that has a similar vibe, I always kind of take note, and I really like this a lot. So very, very cool. And if you love The Nice, right, but just never bothered to investigate any of the folks other than Keith Emerson and what they did afterwards, I think this would be really cool to check out. So yeah, this was produced by Brian himself. So yeah, very cool stuff. Let me just see if I can get a picture of pictures. There he is right there. Let's see what we got here. There they are. It's kind of hanging around. Anything else of note here? Not really, just other pictures, close-up shots of Brian. But yeah, very cool album for those of you who like a little bit more sedate or tranquil stuff, but lots of good kind of jazzy and proggy bits going on here as well. It's a really good album. And like I said, if you love Traffic and you never heard this, it's right up your alley. I think you really dig it. So go investigate this. Brian Davison's Every Which Way. That's the name of the band, name of the album. And we'll see you tomorrow for another one. As always, right? Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that. And click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we get the links to our Ko-Fi page, our channel donations, our merch page, and our Cameo page. Thank you in advance for all your support there. We'll see you soon here on the channel. What do we got coming up today? Got lots of stuff happening this weekend. We've got the UK Connection coming up this afternoon. 5 bands each from Simon, Stephen, and myself that we can't stand. We probably should like, but we don't. There's some big surprises here. You don't want to miss this one. We're going to make a lot of enemies, I think, on this particular episode, but it is what it is, right? We've also got another fun episode from the kind of superstar lineup I've put together. Brendan Snyder, Scott Lade, and Grant Arthur. We're going to be talking about Styx, Kansas, Starcastle, and Ambrosia. 4 bands that kind of sit in the progressive rock periphery here in the U.S., specifically in the 70s. We're going to talk about their prog merits. Is it hard rock? Is it prog? Is it pop? Or is it all those things? That's coming up today as well. And then tomorrow, Grant will be back with me. We are going to rank the albums of a really cool late 70s band called Roadmaster. They got 4 albums. All really good. U.S. band, hard rock, kind of proggy, kind of poppy, pomp rock, all that sort of thing. Very, very cool stuff. A new discovery for me, and a very, very cool band. So stay tuned for that. Coming up tomorrow on Ranking the Albums. Till then, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.